Hello, empowering survivors community. Welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a quick update on the Maui schools, specifically the West Maui schools that covered the Lahaina area that was part of the burn zone from the fires on August 8th. And yesterday, I posted a video where we talked about an update that I found on the Hawaii State Department of Education's website saying that the three of the four schools that were in that area that had closed from the fires are being planned. They're planning to reopen them after the fall break, which would be sometime in October. Now, that of course there's a rollout plan for that opening, and that's pending that, it's environmentally safe to enter, that the air and the water is safe, and all of these other factors just that need to be in place before children and of course a whole entire staff can come back to those schools. But that right now is the plan. But I also saw there was, right after I posted that video, another press release came out from the Department of Education. And this one was actually what I really wanted to know, what I really wanted to see, which is an update on the students that have not re-enrolled. So I'm going to post a link also from the other video that I had posted, which a couple of weeks ago, the superintendent of the Department of Education had said that there were, of the 3,000 students that were previously enrolled to go into those four schools, about 2,000 had not re-enrolled. And so the update as of yesterday, September 5th, it says here that the Department of Education statement regarding West Maui students who have not re-enrolled in other schools or distance learning. The department continues to closely track students who over the past few weeks have been enrolling in other public schools, charter schools, and private schools, and those who have signed up for virtual learning. Of the 3,000 students who were enrolled in the four public schools in Lahaina for the start of the new school year, 778 have re-enrolled in other public schools, and 874 have enrolled in the department's distance learning program as of August 31st. So at this point, that's almost a week away. I'm sure that that number will continue to increase. Another 140 have enrolled in charter schools or private schools. Okay, so I do a quick little math here. And so there was 3,000, I think specifically it was 3,001, but we'll just go with the 3,000 students. We'll subtract the 778 that have re-enrolled. We'll subtract the 874 who have enrolled in the distance learning program, and we'll subtract the 140 who are now in charter schools or private schools, and that's 1,208 students that have not re-enrolled. So at least, it's a positive trend as far as students re-enrolling. Now, let's finish here, and I'll tell you some thoughts that are coming from residents from Lahaina and the area. Maui-based community liaisons who have been on the ground since the fires have also been connecting with families in shelters, at family assistance centers, resource fairs, and the like to check in with families and help support their overall and educational needs. Department staff who have been properly trained are contacting families for the remainder of students who have not yet enrolled in an option, knowing that some may have moved out of state, relocated, or paused their child's education for the time being. The superintendent, Keith Hayashi, last week announced a tentative goal of welcoming students back to the three West Maui campuses after fall break in mid-October, pending campus environmental clearances. An exact date for students to return will depend on each school's phased reopening schedule. As the department actively pursues reopening after fall break, families have the following options. Families looking for an in-person learning option may temporarily enroll at designated schools in Central and South Maui, with bus transportation from and to Lahaina to be provided by the department, with dedicated support staff on board. The department's state distance learning program is currently accepting applications, and families may register for the state Kaipuni Hawaiian Immersion Distance Learning Program. And of course, families who need assistance can call the department support hotline. And so I think the part that many local Lahainans and Mauians have said, they've highlighted that first point about the in-person learning option, that okay, great. There's this bus transportation, but they're saying that they don't want to have their kids on a bus 45 minutes to an hour to go to school each way, where they're going to be passing the Lahaina burn zone, which is, of course, going to be devastating to see. On top of that, many of the roadways and even the highways are not good. They're not in good condition. They've mentioned that there's often accidents, there's often road closures, and people have even said that they've been stuck in traffic for hours. So imagine, and like, what if, I mean, I would be traumatized in the sense of like, what if there's another wildfire? Like we've seen, there's actually some of the wildfires have not been 100% contained on Maui. And what if something else happens? What if there's a strong, what if there's a tornado, or if there's a tsunami or something else? I think people are really hesitant to not have their children in sight. So even though children are supposed to be enrolled in school, right? Like that's their quote unquote, their job. Many people are just opting, like it said earlier, of just pausing their education for the time being. And it sounds like the Department of Education is going to be okay with that, maybe for another couple of weeks. Maybe they'll just kind of play it by ear and see how things go. But 1,200, we're still talking about, out of the original 3,000, we're still talking about 40% of the students are still not enrolled, which is a high number. So at least it's down from the 2,000, and it's down then from the 60%, which was 1,800. Now it's 1,200. It's a much more, again, in a positive trend, but it's still a pretty high number. I think it would be much more reasonable to think that maybe like 10%, 15% of students, maybe even up to 20% of students might be displaced and pausing their school's education for the time being. But 40% is still a large number. So this was still the numbers here as of August, I believe it was, let me see here, August 31st. So hopefully I'll look out for updates here, and I'm sure that the numbers are going to continue to improve as people start to, come up with solutions for longer term housing, and families start to pick up and things start to progress in their lives. So keep you posted, but at least this is a positive trend. I personally don't believe that those students are the ones that are not re-enrolled are missing. Certainly some of them may have died, sadly, and maybe some of the families may have died, but I really do believe that it's something just like they don't have the capacity right now, the families, to re-enroll their students or their children, and they're just opting to pause the education. And I think that that's a good move for some of them. And obviously is necessary for some of them. So I'll keep you posted. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you learned something, I'd appreciate if you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You'll get updated on this developing story, as well as other stories of survivors, missing persons, and those who don't have a voice. With that, stay safe, stay thriving, trust your intuition, and make sure to keep it empowering. Bye for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications. Thank you.